Hey, Zakchi, Shanwat Nezach, Tula, Adanon, Al Solom, Solom Kon Lecsyony Tsëbteby, Chiza, Satan, Disha. Hi there, how is everyone doing? So we're gonna continue working and learning Zapotec. We're gonna start with lesson 11. So the usual, let me share my screen with you so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. So here we go. So as you guys can see, this is lesson 11 or Lecsyony Tsëbteby. Rkada say this Ziklachi, Rkada say this ni Kawetlo. Bidaware Perchile Ekwet Sharni Win Sharkwan Shtisan na Nes Latsvak. So today we're gonna be looking at the verb, some of the verb definitions and other question words that we already saw previously. So we're gonna also look at some of the irregular perfective and irrealist stem and of a base changing verb. So we'll, when we get there, and then we'll, you guys see what we're talking about. Okay, so the usual thing, so I'm gonna start by saying the vocabulary so you can hear the sound of each word, but also I hope that you guys can practice and also try to look at the bracket pronunciation guide. So in case you just want to try your own and see how you are doing. So I'm gonna start with the first word on the list. So here we go. Pka. Pka. Bal. Bal. Or you can also say bald, bald. Either one, it's perfectly fine. Pistieth, pistieth. Black, black. This one is about like how much money, okay? Bzain, bzain. So there are two ways of saying it, as you guys can see there. So I sort of said the first word and then the other one at the same time. So I'm gonna do the first one, which is bzain, and the other pronunciation is bzain. It's a little bit nasal, okay? So let's continue. Cotoin, cotoin. Check, check. Dollar, dollar. Fald, fald. Word search is galargildish, galargildish. Gasolin, gasolin. Gas, gas. Very breathy. And then we have a new pronoun here, which is the animal pronoun, lam, lam. Larm, larm. Next, mine, mine. Mies, mies. And then we have this one, nah, nah. And this one is used at the end of many word questions. So I know that I think on lesson 10, we also use it to mean now, okay? Nah. Next. Pargak pueden divertir. Pargak pueden divertir. Pes. Pes. Rgap. Gap. Perfective. Bzap. Bzap. Irrealis. Gap. Gap. Next words. Rgoob. Rgoob. Very tricky. Okay, perfective. Bloob. Bloob. irrealis, cube, cube. Next, rges, rges. Perfective, bdes, bdes. Irrealis, ges, ges. Next, rgib, rgib. Perfective, bdib, bdib. Irrealis, kib, kib. Next, rgib, rgib. Perfective, bdib, bdib. Irrealis, kiev, kiev. And the next verb we have is rgil, rgil. Perfective, dil, dil. Irrealis, kil, kil. Okay, let's continue. Next one is rgin, rgin. Sorry, one more time. Rgin, rgin. Perfective, vdiin, vdiin. Irrealis, kiin, kiin. Next, gish, gish. Be careful as when you use this word, because this is to lay something down, but it's a long object, and then we'll, as you guys will see later, how it is used in a sentence, and hopefully you'll get what we're talking about here. Okay, so again, it means lays an object, a long object down, puts a long object down, and the perfective is bdish, bdish. Irrealis, kish, kish. And next is regishik, regishik. Perfective, bdishik, bdishik. Irrealis, kishik, kishik. And next is regish, regish. And the perfective, bdish, bdish. And irrealis is kish, kish. As you guys can see over there, right here, you can see the two plain vowels. Okay, so it's high tone. And the next is receive, receive. And we have three more words, and then we'll be done with the list. So the next one is sha, sha, or shamod, shamod. And the last one on the list is shini, shini. Okay, so now we're gonna go and say some of the sentences that we have here. And the first one is, he's smoking a cigarette. Kagubi gas, kagubi gas. And as you guys can see, that the translation is, he is smoking a cigarette, even though there is no one, or like kagubi gas, right? You would expect that, but in English, we are translating it as he's smoking a cigarette. So just be careful that sometimes we don't really need the in Zapotec to mean one item. Okay, and then we have, when we use vestir and falt, we use that mainly to mean something that was introduced as city style clothing. So we don't use that for the traditional clothing that we use, that the Zapotec women use. Okay, so that is an introduction, Spanish introduction, or non-indigenous introduction. Okay, so just pay attention to that. All right, so the next word we have here is regish, lays a long object down, or puts a long object down. So it has to be long. So just, and then we have, like just like English or other languages, sometimes we have one word that has at least two meanings, such as this one. So just, we'll give you more examples later, specifically what do we mean by lays a long object down. And then the next word, which is a group. As you see on the list, it's the definition we give is like sucks, right? But here we use it to mean uses a lot of fuel, like in a car, like in a vehicle. Okay, sorgub. It also means uses a lot of fuel. Okay, so as we said, or I just a minute ago that ergish can mean to lay something, a long object down, but also we can use that to say that the woman is laying down the baby. So in Zapotec we say kakishmnabdo. One more time, kakishmnabdo. Okay. And also the way that we use a goob when something like a car uses a lot of gasoline, for example. So in this case, the sentence is the car uses a lot of gasoline. And then in Zapotec, we say, usargu gasolin. Usargu gasolin. Okay. So please, the usual advice, read the details, which I'm not going to go into right now. So I'll make you aware of some things, but I hold you responsible for reading the details in this lesson. So, and also we have the word pays a person a bill, an amount, pays back, repays, and also pay someone an amount. So we have two different meanings for this verb, ergish. It's a relative verb, ergish. Okay. For example, if I said the teacher pays Pedro, mes ergish bad. Okay. One more time, mes ergish bad. The next one is the teacher pays $5. Mes ergish $1. Mes ergish $1. And the last sentence there is the teacher pays Pedro $5. Mes ergish bad $1. Mes ergish bad $1. And what I'll do is that I'll say that sentence one more time. So mes ergish bad $1. Okay. All right, so let's continue. So let's see. Okay, and then we have this verb, which means carries something or someone in his or her arm. Okay, guess, but also means hugs. So we'll come to that in a minute. So let's look at the sentences, how this verb is used. If I'm saying I'm carrying books in my arms, I would say in Zapotec, kage azara lieber. One more time. Kage azara lieber. Okay. You carry the dog in your arms. Rge azubek. Rge azubek. The women are carrying babies in their arm. Kage azramna abdo. Kage azramna abdo. All right. So I hope you do your homework. So this you have the tarea tape, Lecsyony Tsëbteby here. So in the meantime, I'm gonna continue with 11.1, more about question word questions. So we already learned two of them earlier, and I can't remember what lesson it was, but we went over like words like to, who, and she, what, and gook, right, or ook. So these were, so unlike the yes, no question that can be answered or okay, right? We have different types of question word questions here. So as you can see right here, we have how many, we say bal, okay. And how much money, for example, is black, okay. And then how, sha. And also we say shamod, that's the next one. So you can actually interchange the sha and shamod. I tend to use either one, so you can just choose one of them. And then we have why is shini. Okay. So bal, how many is used for a noun, as in bal of shoes, go guess. Okay, so be careful. There is a typo which in the PDF files that you guys got, it says get, but it's actually guess, G-U-E-Z, and the red letters that I wrote here. It's so it's guess, okay, and it's how many pre-smoke or how many pre-smoke cigarette. And the next sentence is "Valget the bad back." Valget the bad back. How many tortillas did Pedro give to the dog? Okay. So as we said, that blacks mean how much money. So you don't need to use the word mul with this question. It's already, it's there already implicit in the word. So when we say a black like how much money does he pay you? How much does he pay you? Okay. So we don't need to say black mul. We don't use the mul with black. Okay, and then the next word is sha and shamod, which means how. So an example of how to use sha or shamod is how did he cross? You can say shavdedian, or you can say shamodavdedian. As I said earlier, it's perfectly fine to use either one of them. There is no difference in those two. So one more time, shavdedian, shamodavdedian. All right. And then we have na or now. It's often used at the end of the question word question. So you can translate it as now, but this translation will not mean too much in English. So we usually don't translate that. So it's just like some of the sentences we saw earlier where we have two subject and then we don't really translate that into English, right? So it's just like that. So it's just the way in which we talk in Zapotec, I guess. So, okay, for example, we have this sentence, who gave the dog the tortilla? And then we have in parentheses now, which we don't really need, but in Zapotec we say, today get back now. One more time, today get back now. All right. And then the next one is how many pre-smoke, and we don't need it now in English. So, but we do need that in Zapotec. So also there isn't that type again. It's not get, it's guess, G-U-E-Z, which is in red. So I hope that you can see that. So and so we say Walapshuos Rgugesna. Walapshuos Rgugesna. Okay. So you see, as I said, you don't really need that. So we're going to continue to say the other sentences. So we have here, who hit the boy? Tubtazamnin. Tubtazamnin. Since it's not a yes, no question, we don't need to use the a at the end of this question, right? Because you're expecting an answer which is not that, which you wanna hear like who hit the boy. So it is not a yes no question. So therefore we don't need a at the end of that question. One more time. Tubtazamnin. Okay. The next one is Shibwood Banuana. Shibwood Banuana. Okay, so again, just be careful. No a at the end. Okay, the other ones are Tubtazu. Tubtazu. Who did you hit? Okay. Or Tubtazliu. Tubtazliu. Okay. Okay, if the question word question is negative, Kate comes after the question word. Okay, so we have tu Kate Rundin. Tu Kate Rundin. Who didn't run now? Okay, something different than other question words that negative question words that we had before. So be careful. All right, so I'm gonna stop here and then we'll continue in a bit. All right, see you soon.